Yo, what's up, everyone? I am excited to go live as we're recording this next podcast episode of Unfucking Your CX. This was a topic that I wrote about very, very early on in the Unfucking Your CX newsletter series. It's actually newsletter number 5, and it's all around market research versus customer experience and why your teams continue to fuck it up. And this newsletter sparked just an incredible conversation and debate in the comments of the newsletter. It's been one of the most highly engaged newsletters. And ultimately, what I'd love to do today is really kind of talk through it and give my take on it, and really kind of bring that newsletter to life. And so, one of the things that I want to get really just straight on, just right out of the gate, is market research and customer experience are not the same freaking thing. They're not at all. But most companies, they act like they are. I mean, let's break this down to its simplest format. Market research is supposed to tell you what your customers want. So think customer behavior, preferences, expectations, and customer experience tells you how well you delivered on it. So ultimately, are you meeting those expectations? How well are you operationalizing it? What's the experiences that you're delivering? But instead, what do we see? Well, we see two teams running in silos, both gathering feedback, but they're never talking to each other. You got CX surveys filled with market research questions, market research that has no clue what's actually happening on the ground. They're like two ships passing the night, pointing fingers, running parallel strategies, gathering disconnected data. And your customers, quite frankly, they're the ones that are suffering for it. Because while you're inside the org confusing preferences with performance, your customers are out there experiencing a brand that can't get its shit together. This isn't just inefficient, it's dangerous. It leads to overpromised expectations, under-delivered experiences, and a business model built on misalignment. And quite frankly, we need to unfuck it. Now, many of you probably think that you're being customer-led. Well, you're not. You're just drowning in feedback loops that don't connect. Market research is setting aspirational goals, and CX is being held accountable to execute on them. Quite frankly, operations is being held accountable to execute on them. But the two teams never speak. They never share systems. They never align priorities. And then, quite frankly, your CX team, as they're reporting out on their data, they're out here getting slammed for not meeting expectations that marketing set based on theoretical preferences. And then operations, they're just like, just tell me what you want me to do. And let's think about your surveys. They're bloated. They're misused. They're filled with wish list questions that belong in a focus group, not a post-interaction touch point. And yet you question why your response rates are below 5%. Well, that's why. And that's why your insights go nowhere. That's why no one trusts your data anymore. And the ultimate consequence is a brand that overpromises and underdelivers every single time. But here's what the best brands get. They get that market research and CX are two different beasts, but yet when they work together, that's when they win. Market research that tells you what your customers actually want, and your customer experience team tells you how well as an organization you're delivering on it. It's not a competition. It should be a continuous feedback loop when you unify these functions. And when you do that, you stop asking dumb questions and customer experience surveys. You stop chasing hypothetical goals. You start executing experiences customers actually asked for, and you measure how well the organization and operationally you delivered on them. So let's talk about how you make that shift happen. Starting with player tip number 1, you must merge market research and customer experience. You have to unify the feedback loop. Get your research and CX teams in the same room, unifying it under one system, one loop, one mission. So how do you do it? Create a unified feedback ecosystem where research informs CX and CX reports back to research. Set shared goals, not learn more, but learn and deliver better. Your CX team really needs to be focused on how well are we executing and what's the business impact on that. Your CX survey should stop asking, what do you want? And they really should be asking, did we deliver on what we said we would? That's how you get out of the noise and into performance. Player tip number 2, shift your survey strategy altogether and really think about, are we measuring what matters? So your survey strategy is probably broken because you're mixing up market research and CX. So here's the fix. Stop using CX surveys as customer wish lists. That's market research. Use CX surveys to track execution. How did we do? Did we deliver? Was it frictionless? Every CX survey question should tie back to a touch point that you can control, you can act on, and you can measure the impact. The goal really should be thought about as a performance review, not a popularity contest. And player tip number 3, operationalize customer insights so that you can move from theory to action. If your insights are not making their way into product delivery, support, operations, and you're not leveraging that to influence your cross-functional colleagues to really understand the top frictions that are having the biggest impact on what they're held accountable to, then you're not running a CX program. You're running essentially a feedback museum. Over on our left, we have our NPS. Over on our right, we have our CSAT. And up the middle, what you're going to see is a tunnel full of all of our customer feedback. You know, those tunnels like in an aquarium that you can look up and you can see all the fish. Like, it's almost like that. Like, you're looking up and you see all this customer feedback and you're just amazed at it and you're marveled and you point it out, but yet you never do anything with it. That's how most CX programs feel. So here's how to change that. You have to set up rapid feedback to action loops. You have to translate insights into action and the impact, or even what's the cost of inaction across the entire customer journey. Use your CX data to make real-time decisions, not quarterly presentations. If customers are flagging the same issue repeatedly, that again tells me you're running a feedback museum. And if you really think about it, customer experience is action. So you got to fix it, measure it, show the impact. Insights are only valuable when they become action. So here's your challenge. Are you a market research or CX team? And are you working in harmony? Or are you just confusing the hell out of each other? Because if you're not aligned, you're gathering the wrong data, you're making the wrong decisions, and you're delivering an experience that not one of your customers asked for, that none of them will be satisfied with. And quite frankly, your customers deserve better. And honestly, so does your business. So if you want to be taken seriously as a CX leader, unify the data, take action on it, deliver business results. Stop asking what customers want and start proving you delivered it. It's time to go unfuck your CX.